Indra killing the crocodile, he rescued Gajendra. We must all be rescued by him only. Once this crocodile caught the feet of the elephant, immediately Gajendra started shouting. In Vishnu Purana, Parashara says that Paramapadam apannaha manasa chintayad harim. When you are in trouble, call for Bhagavan. What does it mean? Don't misinterpret this statement as only when you are in trouble, call for Bhagavan. It's not only. Kindly remove a word. You need to think of him always, at least when you are in trouble. It means that don't think that whenever we have trouble, we fall suddenly. We are hit. We are in an accident. We suddenly lose money. What do we say? Immediately we panic. Then the Shastra says that at that point, call Bhagavan. Don't just panic. Don't become restless. Immediately call him. He is always with you. But is it not that a child will immediately call for his mother or his father? Similarly, you call for your eternal parent, which is Shri Mahalakshmi or Shriman Narayana. So calling Bhagavan is nothing wrong. We can call any time we want, but not only during suffering, but also during sufferings. So this becomes sickening at times. Even if you have a lot, if you are not able to achieve something out of money, money is always not an end at all. It is only a means to something. It cannot be an end, a destination by itself. So that's one of the shortcomings. Next, it's too temporary. Urundodidum panam. It's not with. If you want more interest, then you have trouble with the principle. If you want the principle to be safe, then you will get only 4% interest. So you decide whichever you want. 10 years ago, we all had 28%, 30% interest without principle. But today your principle is very safe with all banks, but they pay you only 6 or 7%. So this is all temporary. It's not going to earn you permanently. Next, mixed with sorrow and difficult to attain, be it kama or artha, it is not free of sadness. It is not free of pain. It is not free of sorrow. There is a tag attached to these two always. Whenever you find brothers, they are not in talking terms at all today. Okay. Say 20, 30 years ago, if there are 3, 4 brothers, they will only eat together. They will dine together. They will sleep together. But today we don't see that at all. They don't get along. The main reason would be, one is wealth, the sharing of wealth. 2, intolerance. That's more important. We are not able to tolerate the next individual today. Why are we not able to tolerate? Because we start comparing two individuals. Comparison is of no use at all. Every Jivatma need not compare with other Jivatma because all the Jivatmans are equal. We unnecessarily compare on the basis of this body. This body is not the criteria for comparison at all. Jnana has to be the tool for comparison. I possess so much of jnana, she possesses so much of jnana, she knows more about Bhagavan, I know less about Bhagavan, why don't I know more? This we can compare, but we never compare in this aspect. We only compare in all others, whether it is wealth, bank deposits or fixed deposits or your status of living. This is where we are compared. But this comparison has got no bearing on the Atman. This can have a bearing only on the body, because we are all diversified. We are all divided whenever we look into bodies, but we are united when you look at the Atman. So temporary, mixed with sorrow, and it is very, very difficult to attain. Be it artha or kama, it's difficult to attain. But dharma and moksha are in fact simpler to reach. We may have a wrong understanding that artha and kama are easier to attain, moksham is too difficult to attain. Not at all. Moksham is the easiest to attain, more than dharma, artha and kama. You know why? The grantor loves to grant that. That is the simplest part of moksha. Bhagavan never wants us to grant dharma, artha or kama, but he loves us to grant moksha. He is the one who wants everybody of us to be there. But when the grantor wants to give something, will it not be easier to reach there? When he does not want to give dharma, artha or kama, then he will definitely filter. After filtering to attain that is very difficult. There are two types of nations. One, those who want population to increase. There is another type, those who don't want. You take the case of United States and Canada. Both are neighboring countries. To get a visa, to be an immigrant in the United States is too difficult. But to get into Canada is simpler than getting into United States, because there are no people there. They want more and more people. So getting into Canada is easier because the government wants so. Getting into USA is difficult because the government does not want so. Similarly, getting into Vaikuntham is very easy because Bhagavan wants so. Getting Artha and Kama are too difficult because it is against his wish. He never wants us to experience pleasure, and he wants us to experience pleasure eternally with him, not devoid of him, not independent of him. So when the grantor wants to grant moksham, that can be the simplest to reach, that will be easily accessible. So don't have a misconception that moksham is difficult compared with Artha and Kama. Not at all. That's the easiest, provided we turn our heads towards that. We don't do that. We only look into dharma, artha and kama, more so artha and kama, not into moksha. The moment you want to think about moksham, reflect on it, meditate on it, then you have abundant source material available to think about that. But that much material is not available to attain artha or kama. Bhagavan never talks anything about artha and kama, but he talks abundantly in Gita about moksham. So here is a true source available to moksham, whereas you have some sources which you can't believe even. You can make money through share market, you can make money through mutual funds. Can you believe? Whereas you can believe in Vedas which talk about moksham. So they never change. Whatever methods, your newspapers, your investor tips, they all talk. They may not hold good in any turning down economy. They will hold good if it's a booming economy. If not, they will immediately say, be very careful with your money. They will say, you must take risks. Unless you have an appetite for risk, you can't earn money. Idhe paper adutha naal konjam economy down aattum eppadi maati eludran appa parunga. Appa idukella it keeps on changing. But Vedas, did they ever change? Did they ever change their prescription? They know to write only one medicine, Sharanagati. They know about no other medicine at all. And that medicine has not changed irrespective of the disease. It has remained the same. It has not changed irrespective of the individual. It has remained the same. It has not changed. It is irrespective of Krita Yuga, Kali Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga. It has not changed. So be it any Yuga, be it any individual, be it any circumstances, the prescription has remained the same. So Vedas, you can believe in them because they never change. They stick to what they took. The stance of Vedas, they never change at all. So these have these shortcomings, sorrow and difficult to attain. So the Shastras are the revered and preferred. Now come to this conclusion that out of the four human goals, the superior ones are dharma and moksha. So naturally, the source of knowledge which reaches us, which tells us about dharma and moksha, have to be superior than to the other two sources. So thus, Vedas gain supremacy over Pratyaksha and Anumana. Pratyaksha and Anumana can be refuted, but the Vedas can never be refuted. Now, you all know this verse. Satyam Satyam, Punas Satyam, Uddhritya Bhujamuchyate, Vedachastram Param Nasti, Na Daivam Keshavat Param. Satyam Satyam. This is truth. This is truth. Punas Satyam. We repeat the truth. Satyam Satyam, Punas Satyam. Uddhritya Bhujamuchyate. We promise that this is truth. Vedachastram Param Nasti. There cannot be any Shastram other than the Vedas. Why the Vedas are called Shastra? Shashanat Shastra. That which directs is Shastra. The Vedas direct. Do this, abstain from this. Idam kuru, idam makarshihi. Idam kuru, do this. Idam makarshihi, abstain from this. Don't do this. As they direct, they are known as Shastras. Vedas, Vedayati iti Vedaha. That which explicitly explains Brahman is known as Veda. They are also known as Shastra because they direct us to do and to abstain. This Shastra is the only good source of knowledge. Satyam Satyam, Punas Satyam, Uddhritya Bhujamuchyate, Vedachastram Param Nasti. There cannot be a better source of knowledge. There cannot be another source of knowledge than the Vedas. Uddhritya Bhujamuchyate, Vedachastram Param Nasti, Na Daivam Keshavat Param. The same is true with Bhagavan Keshava also. Na Daivam Keshavat Param. There cannot be a superior God to Keshava. There cannot be any other God than Keshava. Chemistry major, you don't stop with physics major alone. Then mathematics and chemistry become ancillary subjects. If you take mathematics as major, then statistical mathematics, numerical science, something. You have so many options available today. So there are ancillary subjects, don't we know that? So Vedas are the main subject. There are ancillary texts to it, Itihasa and Purana. So unless you know the Itihasas and Puranas, you don't augment the resource. Vedas are the prime source. There are more sources needed to establish unshakably the truth in Vedas. The shloka says that Itihasa Purana Bhyam Vedam Samupabrahmayet. Itihasas and Puranas are known as Upabrahmana, that which explain the Vedas, that which talks about Bhagavan in all clarity. Upabrahmana, whenever you use the word Upabrahmana, it means secondary. Upa is secondary. Brihaspati, a priest who conducts kriyas at home. Upa Brihaspati, a priest who comes to help him. A helper is always known by the word Upa. Rashtrapati, Upa Rashtrapati. Mantri, Upa Mantri. Have you not heard that? So Brahmana, all the Vedas. Upa Brahmana, the ancillary, the auxiliary source material to the Vedas. Itihasa Puranabhyam Vedam Samupabrahmayet. The meaning is like this. Veda trembles. The Veda is shivering. It trembles that ignorant of Itihasa and Puranas, one might misinterpret its esoteric meanings. Unless you know the meanings of Itihasa Purana, you can't establish the meaning of Vedas. Vedas, at learning, a study about Vedas is like a session, a theoretical session. It's like theory. Whereas study about Itihasa and Purana, they are practical sessions. Can you stick to only theoretical sessions? You have to read theory, get into the laboratory, put them to practice. Unless you go through lab session, more so, you will also agree with me that when you go above in your studies, you go to higher studies, laboratory work is more important than theoretical study. It is in your 8th standard or 10th standard and 12th standard, you will stick more to theory. You are not much allowed in the laboratory. You come to PhD, 75% of the time you have to spend in laboratory only. It's only 25% theory. And you go to great universities and great colleges, they more make you to concentrate on laboratory issues only, not on theoretical sciences. So theory is fine, but without the laboratory, without the practical sessions, theory cannot be established at all. Any theorem, any theory has to be established physically. So Vedas are theoretical studies. Itihasa and Puranas, they are practical sessions. We didn't practice. We were not existent at all. Who practiced? Bhagavan himself practiced it. Whatever is said in the Vedas, whatever the Vedas direct, Bhagavan incarnated and put them to practice. As Varaha, Narasimha, Rama, Krishna, Matsya, Kurma, Bhagavan himself practiced all the directives of Vedanta, of Veda, and they were recorded. They were documented by great noble souls, Rishis and Munis, as Itihasas and Puranas. Now, is Itihasa superior to Purana, or the Purana takes precedence over Itihasa? Itihasa always precede Purana. You know why? Go to this slokam now. Itihasa Purana Bhyam Vedam Samupabrahmayet. Itihasa Purana Bhyam. This is a compound word. There's a conjugation here. You know about samasam in Sanskrit? Dvandva samasa, tatpurush samasa, bahuvrihi samasa, avyayi bhava samasa. I'm not going to conduct any grammar class here, but still I'm just brushing your knowledge now. Whenever you talk about samasa, here there is a samasa. Itihasa, Purana. Two words are used here. Which one should be used first and which one should be used second? Itihasa. There are 4 letters. Purana. There are 3 letters. There is a sutram as per Panini in Sanskrit. It goes like this. Alpachitaram purvam. Alpa ach purnam. Alpa lesser. Ach achedit. Wherever you have lesser vowels. Alpachitaram purvam. Use that word first. Whichever has more number of al ach, use that second. So this is a sutra. This is a directive. This is a rule. Wherever there is rule in Sanskrit, immediately there will be an exception. The problem itself with that language is that you have more number of exceptions than rules per se. if you have more rules and lesser number of exceptions, you can easily learn that language. In English, you don't have much exceptions at all. But in Sanskrit, to every sutra, you will have exception. Alpa chitaram purvam. Wherever there is alpa achadithu, use it first. If you go by that rule here, Purana has 3. Itihasa has 4. So the shloka should have read as Purana itihasabhyam Vedam samupabrahmayet Bibhet kalpashrutad Vedaha Mamayam pratarishyati. But the order is different. Why did the order go wrong? Because there is an exception to this rule. It says that Alpachitaram Purvam Abhyaragitam Purvam. Wherever between these two words, one word has got greater meaning, use that word first. Irrespective of the rule that lesser number of letters must be used first. So this is the exception now. Although Purana has lesser number of letters, when you compare them in the content, in their meaning, Itihasas have got greater, deeper meaning than Purana. So by this exception, to the exception to this rule, it now reads as Itihasa Puranabhyam. So it should have read as Purana Itihasabhyam. It reads as Itihasa Puranabhyam. So easily you can conclude that Itihasa precede. They override Puranas. Let me read the meaning to this shloka. Veda trembles that ignorant of Itihasas and Puranas, one might misinterpret its esoteric meanings. So if you want to rightly interpret the meanings of Vedas, then resort to Itihasa and Purana. Being ignorant of Itihasa and Purana, one cannot establish the truth in Vedas. 2 Itihasas and 18 Puranas are the Upabrahmanas, the auxiliary text to the Vedas. Now note this point also. Vedas themselves are divided into 2. There are 2 parts in Vedas. One is known as Purva Bhaga, other is Uttara Bhaga. The Purva Bhaga is known as Karma Kanda, that which talk about the rituals. Uttara Bhaga is Brahma Kanda, that which talks about the object of these rituals. The karya, the karma which we perform is all ritual. All the yajna, homa, yaga, shraddha karma, all those are rituals. They are all researched, talked to in Purva Kanda, which is Veda. Vedanta, you all know about the word Upanishad. Upanishad is Vedanta, Siksha. You have Upanishads like Prashnopanishad, Kenopanishad, Kathopanishad, Mundakopanishad, Mandukya Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Isha, Kena, Katha, Prashna, Munda, Mandukya, Tittirihi, Aitareya, Brihadaranyaka, Chandogya. There are 10 principal Upanishads. So all these Upanishads are termed as Vedanta. They are the end, the conclusive part of Veda. So this Vedanta, they don't talk about rituals. They don't talk about fire. They don't talk about any ritual. They only talk about Brahman, the superior entity. So Vedas, Purva Bhaga. Vedanta, the later, the Uttara Bhaga. Now, Vedas do have some Upabrahmana. Vedanta also has Upabrahmana. Upabrahmana is ancillary text, auxiliary text. The Purva Bhaga Veda has some auxiliary text. Vedanta Bhaga has some other ancillary text. They are Smriti, Itihasa, Purana. All the Smritis, they augment Veda. Itihasas and Purana, they augment Vedanta. So you need to note this difference now. Manusmriti, Yajnavalkya Smriti, all these Smritis, they only add value to Veda Bhaga, Purva Bhaga. Whereas Itihasa and Purana, they add value to Brahma Bhaga, which is Vedanta Bhaga. Itihasa and Purana are all documentation of whatever Bhagavan did. It is all his deeds. So Bhagavan is Brahman. So that's why they augment only Vedanta. Itihasa and Purana would not talk about rituals at all. Whereas Smriti, Manusmriti and Yajnavalkya Smriti, only with Smriti you can conduct a wedding. Without the help of Smriti, wedding cannot be conducted. Smriti, that which is written remembering Shruti. Shruti is Veda because it has come down the lineage only through listening. That got never printed at all. An Acharya will preach. This is known as Ashat Karna, Ucharana, Anucharana. An Acharya would first chant, recite. Then the disciple has to recite it twice again. This is known as Santai format. இது ஒண்ணுதான் ரொம்ப ஈஸியா நம்மளால மனப்பாடம் பண்றதுக்கு முடியும். An Acharya will teach, the disciple should repeat it twice. Then you easily by heart it. You will be able to know it by heart. anytime, even during sleep or when you are awake, you can easily recite. So this Uchcharana, Anucharana was holding good. But today, we all have books only to recite. Nobody knows them by heart now. There are many noble souls who know that, be it Samskrita Vedanta or Dravida Vedanta, even Nalayara Divya Prabandham is under danger now. We do not know that by heart. We need to have a book. This is known as Hasta Bhushanam. Have you heard that? Hasta Bhushanam is, there are bangles. Munadila Vidwangal poi periya sadasla pota thoda bodua. Tangathila thoda potana Hasta Bhushanam. Adu Vidwangalthikaga. Inniki Hasta Bhushanam is book. We are not able to read anything without the help of a book. If 2 into 2, 4, we need a calculator. That is another Hasta Bhushanam. And now come to this book. Itihasa Purana Abhyam Vedam Samupa Brahmayet. So Smriti is ancillary text to Purva Bhaga. Itihasa and Purana, they are ancillary to Vedanta, which is Uttara Bhaga. Without knowing the meanings of Itihasa Purana, one cannot interpret the Vedas in its right form. So 2 Itihasas and 18 Puranas are the Upabrahmanas. The 18 Puranas were propounded by the four-headed Brahma and later on propagated by sage Vedavyasa. Yo Brahmanam Vidadadi Purvam, U.Ve.Vedam cha Prakinoti Tasmai, Tamhadevam Atma Buddhi Prakasham, Mumukshurvai Sharanamaham Prapadye. Initially, when the deluge was over and creation began, then Sriman Narayana created the four-headed Brahma and preached all the 4 Vedas to him. Knowing that Brahma